Your website is the mousetrap. Your content is the cheese. Welcome to Content Matters with Barry Feldman and Andy Crestodina.
Finding topics for your blog or your content. How important is that? You simply can't have great content if you don't have a great idea or topics that your readers are interested in. So today, whether that is something that you find to be difficult or something that you're trying to improve, we are going to drill through our ideas about how to help you find topics for your content. Welcome to the Content Matters podcast.
This is a good one. This is a big one. This one's critical. You don't go anywhere. You versus the blank screen. You don't go anywhere until you know what you're going to write about. And it's one of the biggest questions, right? And it's something people really struggle with. A lot of people kind of get it wrong or end up with big challenges they wouldn't have otherwise because they can't get started, or they choose something that's really self-centered, or they go in a really salesy direction, the kind of thing that would never get shared or ranked or opened. So, let's go through, Barry. Let's give everyone some ways, some sources, some places to find the best topics that are going to work for their audience. So tell us first, what do people miss?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, we were just talking about this, and I said, boy, this topic seems so easy to me, and you agreed that it's easy to you, and then you revealed the secret, which is empathy. So I guess what people miss is, I sell title insurance, and how am I going to riff on title insurance every week?
Mm-hmm. Well, the topics that will work for your business are going to be the topics that matter to your audience. The top questions are going to be important ones, but as soon as we get started, you immediately think, well, that's been covered. That's been written about. I search in Google, has 400 million pages that are relevant to that topic. I got to choose something that's totally new and original and unique, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That I can riff on. Okay. So that's a conversation I'm having a lot as a content strategist, telling people to kind of get over it. And I throw them outside of the realm of business blogging or whatever the topic may be. It's usually business blogging. And I say, what if a fiction writer wanted to write about, someone falling in love with somebody that their parents didn't approve of. And they go, oh, no, I think Shakespeare did that one already. Better not go there. Imagine all the stories, all the fiction, plays and books we would have been deprived of. What if we're in television, and somebody says, oh, I think our next blockbuster program is going to be about the doctors and nurses and the personal lives behind the scenes. They go, oh, no, sorry, that's been done. Imagine all the programs we would not have seen. And so, I'm often, conversing with people and screen sharing as I'm doing that, as I'm training them. And I go, do a search for Men's Health magazine, please. And now go to the images page, and I say, check out the covers of Men's Health magazine. They're arbitrary. It's Google's collection of them. They all look the same. They all say the same thing, and the words on them say abs, six-pack abs. They say muscle. They say body. They say strength. And I'm looking at one of those right now, and I'm looking at 12 covers, and 4 or 5 or 6 of them say get back in shape.
Amazing.
Yeah, so those words and those derivatives of them, they prove that you are picking topics based on what your customers want, and you're largely thinking about newbies, not loyalists. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. It's so it doesn't have to be totally original. You have to be original. Your writing has to be original, but the topic can be well worn. It can be well covered and still be very successful in your context, on your blog, on your website. So forget that original. We can disabuse ourselves of the notion that every article has to be the only one of its kind. And kind of, there's nothing new under the sun, and that's fine. Now let's get into it. Where do we find some topics? Where do we get these ideas? How do I know what article to write about abs or getting back in shape or what's going to work for me? I'll jump in. I'm going to start. Keyword research. I'm an SEO guy, right? So keyword research. As soon as you enter into Google Keyword Planner or Google Trends or just Google Suggest, right? Just start searching for something, and you're going to see all kinds of related phrases. Search for your topic, scroll down to the bottom, explore other keyword ideas right at the bottom, like you may also like kind of search terms. There are a pile of related topics to any industry, any main subject in any of these keyword research tools. And if you just look at those things with an eye toward content, with an eye toward writing and blogging, you're going to find an endless well right off the bat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then some of these tools that are sort of for the more serious keyword researchers, like WordStream and WordTracker, that you'll ultimately buy. They have free trials, so if you're just getting started, try them and save some of the results, and you'll find an amazing amount of ideas. Mm-hmm. Okay, the word questions come up a lot, and for good reason. When you're in the content marketing business, you're pretty much answering questions. And so I think you want to know what people's questions are. Keyword research tools will tip you off on that. We'll get into some other places, but your competitors' websites will too, right? You're going to probably be chasing somebody who has an amazing amount of content, and not only will your competitors have beat you to some of those topics, they'll really have helped you answer the question were they a hit or not, because you'll see share numbers. And so go to your competitors' websites, keep your eye on them, set up alerts for those topics, and then carefully tune into the FAQs if they have them, right? Hopefully there's been some research applied to frequently asked questions. Hopefully, it's data that answer the question, which ones are frequent. And so maybe you could do a better job of answering those questions.
Yeah, and if it's a mistake for those competitors to put 10 or 15 or 50 questions on one big FAQ page, you could take one of those and make it its own page, go deeper on the topic, answer the question more thoroughly, and maybe rank for the question and the answer. Another great source, Quora. Who doesn't? This is a fantastic social network, and it's amazing how deep people go in their answers in Quora. If another place where you find topics that are pre-vetted, go to Quora.com. And you are going to find put in any topic, you'll find not just great topics and beautifully written answers that provide lots of research for you as you go to begin to write one of these yourself, but also experts and people. It's a social network, so you'll find people that are relevant to that topic and maybe people you could include in your content, collaborate with, reach out to, connect with. So Quora is another great source of questions, answers, experts, and topics.
Yeah, and content, like you said, I've been on Quora and said, that question, a derivative of that question is a better question, and I've asked that question and collected the answers and published them as a post. I've done that on LinkedIn groups too. Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn groups, good one.
All right, so another one, if we're firing away here, is to go to BuzzSumo. It's not a well-kept secret anymore. BuzzSumo, in a way, functions like Google. I mean, you could put in a topic or a domain or an author, and it returns to you a year or any increment of time under a year that you choose. It returns to you share results. So obviously, social media speaks loudly as to what resonates with people. And so if you put in a topic, for instance, I'm writing a post about Instagram advertising. Of course, I could do that on Google, but Google's not going to tell me about the share numbers. So if I do that on BuzzSumo, I am going to see about the share numbers, and it's going to tell me not only the share numbers, it's going to tell me the share numbers by social media. So a great tool to look for ideas and then sort of ascertain, if you will, which ones are popular on social media.
Highly recommended. BUZZSUMO.com. Put in a competitor's blog. You'll see all the top shared posts on that. Put in a topic. It'll show you what gets shared the most on the internet related to that topic. Broken down by social networks. So you can see what's working on Facebook related to haunted houses or transmission fluid or whatever you want to find.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, put in a name. You want to do it about, cooking, put it in Emerald. See what, his name appear in titles.
Yeah, super powerful. Analytics, you've already published some things. You're kind of you're not new to this game and you've been marketing for a little while and you've got your own blog. Go look and see what's already working, right? This is the obvious one, the easy one. Which of your articles got the most social traction? Which of your articles attracted the most links? Which of your articles got the most visits? Inspires the most subscribers? And then there's another trick in analytics. If you have a little search tool, that little search box on your website that you put there as a service to your audience to help them find stuff, that's also a listening tool. And as long as you have analytics set up to track that, site search, it's called site search, then there's a report in analytics that will show you what people are searching for on your website. That's a list of things people aren't finding. at least not through navigation. And so it's going to help you get ideas about what to publish, what to promote, what to make more visible if you've already done it, or what to begin to write about if you haven't done it yet. One of my favorite examples is the travel website that has got a lot of searches in their search tool for the phrase packing list. They didn't have a packing list. They wrote a packing list. Why? Because their audience was asking for it. Where? In the site search tool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the site search tool is awesome. I mean, imagine how no-duh this is. We want to pick a topic based on what people are looking for or what they actually click. So, yeah. And it's not, I mean, I guess it's a different episode, but it's also a tip for organizing your website. You know, I was talking to somebody just yesterday, and they had a lot of stuff on their homepage, a various amount of content boxes or pods or whatever you want to call them, windows or elements. And he had a new thing that he wanted to promote and start selling as an important part of his business. And I said, well, which one of these things are people clicking on? And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, please share your analytics with me and we'll quickly discover that. Some of them are going to be stronger than others.
Yeah, we've talked about analytics. It's and mentioned it here a few times. It's a listening tool, right? Analytics is a listening tool. It's a place to ask questions and get answers. And the structure of your website can be informed by that. We mentioned a second ago also the FAQs. The analytics, won't show you which topic on your FAQs is getting the most traction because the analytics is based on pages, which is another reason not to have one monster page with like 65 FAQs, questions and answers on it. If you're serious about those, if they truly are frequently asked, shouldn't your FAQs be a section, not a page? Shouldn't you have a page for each of those topics? I don't know why people have FAQ pages. I think it should be a section. I think that should be answered in other pages. That always seemed like a weird thing to put on a website to me.
Your list keeps expanding of things to not put on your website. Upcoming episode, folks. Andy's rolling with that one. And
rant.
Yeah, I've interviewed you on that. Sits in my video archives, waiting soon to be the Terminator series.
That's right. That was fun.
Listening. Okay, so listening. Oh my God! Maybe that's too broad of a word, but it's on the list that we plan to talk about today. Mm-hmm. How do you listen? I mean, you read. You tweet, or you do searches, you set up alerts, you join groups, you simply listen. And I guess, listen sounds like something you do with your ears, and you certainly should do that. I think if you are new to blogging and you're trying to come up with an editorial calendar and it starts with topics and you're stumped, go listen to the people who are customer facing in your organization, such as the salespeople and the customer support people, the technical people, whoever role it is to help prospects come aboard and customers succeed. Ask them, what topics people are asking about. So the list of listening mechanisms is long. I love using hashtags on Twitter, but the list is long, and and this sort of goes in between listening. And where do we place this? I guess Q&A sites or table of contents, which we haven't got to yet. Wikipedia is awesome. If you can find a relevant Wikipedia post, that's followed by an outline full of killer topic ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just search for a topic in Wikipedia. You're doing your research on the topic. You're checking to see if it's something that gets traction, gets shared. You're finding sample answers and going deeper, but I still love what you just said about listening, and listening in the human context, listening on the phone, listening in meetings. I have a habit of note-taking where I write down any date mentioned in a meeting, any dollar sign mentioned in a meeting. I write down every name of every person in every meeting I'm in, and now I've trained myself to write down every question that is asked in every meeting I'm in. Very useful.
Yeah, you've mentioned before your outbox.
The outbox. People ask you questions where? In email. You answer questions where? In email. Whenever you send an email that's a detailed answer to a question, BCC yourself, save that answer. Next time someone asks you, you've got to have written. Just go back to that, add to it. Your sent mail folder, your email outbox is filled, not just with topics, but with half-written blog posts.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think however many times we say that, people really don't realize that, and you, I guess it depends on who you are, but if you're in sales, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And if you, and it's like, you feel shame when you first realize this. Why do you write the same email 5 times? Or if you're very efficient with your time, you have a draft saved of that email that you keep sending out. Why haven't you published that? Why didn't you put that on your website? It's the corporate executive board's research that shows that people have made 60% of their buying decision before reaching out to a sales rep. You need to answer those questions on that website before the visitor is going to contact you. If they don't find the answer on your site, they're going to go to some other website. And that, I think, is the main point. I was asked this question recently. What is the one thing a website needs to do, Andy? They said, in one word, what does our website need to do? And my reply, answer. Marcus Sheridan style. Your website must answer the visitor's top questions. That's its ability to convert. That's its ability to attract the visitor in the first place. So I think that it's really, really important for people to pay attention in sales meetings and, to a large extent, make sure their website is emulating a sales conversation by answering top questions, addressing top objections, adding social proof, calls to action. That's how to make money on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote that post that became my debut really on your site, and I was talking about the first button that you push, should be atop the the things that your readers are curious about. The top button you push on Orbit's site is look at our portfolio or see our portfolio. So I hope, I know you, being as analytical as you are, that the question that they have is, what's your work look like?
Exactly right. They need that. I help them find it. No one would become a lead without going there. I'll just send you there right away, warm you up as quick as I can.
All right, so we didn't get to this. I guess I suggested it. This is a killer gold mine for topics. Because there is so much publishing going on, paid and free, and even the paid stuff, Amazon books that aren't free, Udemy courses that aren't free, Lynda courses that are only available to you by subscription as LinkedIn now sells it. These are published as teasers where, as a potential buyer, you have access to the table of contents. Oh my God, some of those table of contents are amazing. There's 40 chapters or segments, and there's 40 ideas in there for a post, because the person that came up with that course or that book did the homework. They know what questions their buyers need answered.
Mm-hmm. Or one list post to the top 40 things.
And what else? Conferences, right?
Sure.
Conferences, webinars. I listen to webinars sometimes because I'm looking for topics, or because the topic of the webinar made me think, I need to write about that topic in some form of derivative. And when I hear somebody talk about it, and this of course happens when I read blog posts too, I'm going to get an idea related but different.
So really what we're saying is keep your ear to the ground, stay active in your industry, read the books, go to the events, watch the webinars, subscribe to the emails, pay close attention, because you'll quickly learn what is getting traction, what's working, what's a hot topic, and what your next great post will be.
Yeah, I can't believe we left this one out, because you're such an advocate of the power of publishing original research. Research is tasty gold mine again, because research is asking questions. And so one of my most read posts answers the question, what are the most effective social media marketing tactics? I didn't think of that question. Michael Stelzner did.
That's right.
It was in his report, the annual social media. So you've said this before. I think find research that has unanswered questions or questions that can be answered better.
Right. It's find the missing stat. What do people frequently assert, but is rarely supported? That's the missing statistic in your industry. Find that, answer it, and you've got the best piece of content. You'll just get people will cite you all day long. They'll mention you, link to you, reference you, share you all day long, because you filled in a gap in your industry. That's how to be an industry leader. And we did a whole Content Matters on research, Barry, right?
Yeah.
We did this. And so with that, it's time to move on.
Yeah, but we're going to run out of topics. No, we're not. Just kidding.
No, it's too many topics.
Yeah.
But we've also got some cheese here. It's time for Mousetraps and Cheese.
Bring on the cheese. I'm your cheese man. Sometimes instead of looking for a topic, the topic looks for you. If you are a blogger, you are a publisher, I think this certainly applies to Andy and myself and some portion of our listeners, is that people care what your opinion is and what your tips are, so you're going to ask to be involved in roundup posts. So cool. Just today, This guy, I don't know if anybody will read this thing top to bottom, but it's a masterpiece, and it's in support of a book launch called Authority Content, and his post is 45 marketing experts share their authority building strategies. So I'm going to publish that thing. I don't need to think of the topic. He thought of the topic, authority building strategies. I might curate it differently. I might find that 45 is too long. I might make my answer first or last, or I might exclude my answer. Okay, so then you're thinking, well, I'm not internet famous. I'm not a thought leader. People are not asking me to be involved in the roundups. So what, man? Invite yourself to that party. Find a roundup that's a relevant topic, and invite yourself to the party. Get a list of 10 blah-bitty-blahs and add yourself and make yourself number 11. I've done that before. Say, here's a really cool post I read, and nobody asked me what my answer is, so I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, jump in there, right? You don't have to wait for someone to ask you a question for you to start answering things online. And it makes it, if you find a post that's got a lot of good insight and a big roundup, add your input in a comment, and start a conversation and make a friend. I've got a mousetrap tip for you, though. It's my turn. It's a conversion tip for me. Mousetraps and cheese. Mousetraps half now. I am hearing from so many clients that little live chat widget is just a conversion champion, and I get it. I see why. The live chat feature plugs every possible hole in your bucket. Remember I said answer? That's what websites need to do, is answer. The live chat feature will catch that visitor before they're tempted to leave because they didn't find a question answer. They just ask the question in live chat. So first of all, you've got a conversion trick because you've removed a barrier between you and your audience, and you're just talking to them directly for whatever question they have on the website. And I have clients telling me that they're making tens of thousands of dollars in new sales that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise because this live chat feature starts that conversation. The other thing is that these tools will all let you capture these and save these conversations you're having, and there's your gold mine for topics. That's what you can publish next time. Now you know what the really frequently asked questions are. Don't put them on the FAQ page. Give them their own page. But whatever people want to know, that's what you need to talk about. So I'm recommending live chat features as powerful mousetraps, and something that you'll see on a future version of the Orbit Media website.
Yeah, rock and roll. I mean, hi, Orbit. Do you have any suggestions for increasing online sales of my restaurant website? Oh, my God, topic, cha-ching.
Yep. And if I've got it already, I'm going to copy and paste the link in there. Now I've got a visitor to that juicy piece of content. And if I don't yet, well, I was listening. I've got a new, and I've got someone on the line. I can talk to them. I can steer them in another direction or help them however I can, one-to-one. And definitely in the future, something worth publishing. So,
Crestadina, should we do this again in 2 weeks?
Yeah, why don't we do another? Let's keep it going. I'm enjoying this.
You got any ideas?
You mentioned it a minute ago, and it's a beautiful piece of content, gorgeous, and honored to have you on the Orbit site. What to put on your homepage? Do you mind if we make that the next topic for Content Matters?
I don't see why anybody would care about their homepage.
It's an overvalued page, actually. Like, it's one of many landing pages, not the only one, but you can't sell it short. So what to put on your homepage is an important question, and we're going to answer it in 2 weeks. On the next
All right. Coming to earbuds near you. What to put on your homepage. All right. Nice talking to you, folks. Thank you for listening, and share our what do we call this thing? Podcast. Share our podcast. Review us on iTunes. Tell your friends.
Thanks, everyone.